Welcome back, everybody. What I'm going to dive in tonight is I'm going to do some breakdown of the Callisto Protocol. I have stayed in the dark about this game since its Red Band trailer release last year, and I had already known that it was what most people are calling a spiritual successor to Dead Space. It is actually a game that is being developed / created by the original co-creator of Dead Space and the lead developer of Sledgehammer Games, Glenn Schofield, and he is giving us kind of a new take on the Dead Space genre type of a game. Like, this game is a survival horror based game. I have seen a few of these trailers now, but what I want to do is I just kind of want to go through the trailers and give some more of like my initial reactions to what we're seeing gameplay wise and what we can expect from a game like this. It releases December 2nd, so let's play this trailer and check it on out. Striking Distance Studios, the developers, and Crafton are the publishers. You can instantly see.
Did you know that they call Callisto the dead moon? Dead. Just like you would have been if I hadn't fished you out of that wreck. So whatever you're holding on to right there, that's your old life. You gotta let that go. Because your new life
I have
entirely in my hands.
I have no idea what's like really going on there with whoever that is.
At rebirth.
So what I really like already from what we're seeing is there is an element here of actual storytelling, and that is something kind of missing from the original Dead Space. Dead Space storytelling was based off of lore, stuff that you find throughout the ship of the Ishimura. And if there were any type of like story type updates as far as you getting from one chapter to the next, everything was kind of based inside gameplay. You know, you never really got an outside perspective of Isaac Clarke and, you know, the other characters that he would interact with, because a lot of the times he really is interacting with people who are on the other side of the screen. A lot of the times we have like an LED screen popped up with Isaac talking to somebody on the other side. So we don't really get a lot of out of character type of interactions. Everything is kind of based inside gameplay, whereas what you can really see from Callisto so far, it is going to be a lot more heavily focused on a cinematic story type cutscene action when it comes to the storytelling, which is a great addition here to this kind of a game.
I just love that last part.
And the kind of monsters that we have in this game, there seems to be an interesting variety. You can tell that there is a really good focus on the combat, especially close quarter combat versus your ranged combat, which is going to be a good equal mix to be able to implement in this survival horror experience. Like,
welcome to your new home.
I just love the name too, Callisto Protocol. It just sounds awesome. It just sounds awesome. So, you know, when we're kind of analyzing what we're seeing here, you could really see the inspirations of Dead Space. We go back, to just like a few like key references where, you have the life bar right here on the back side of the neck where, as in Dead Space, we have the life bar on the back side of Isaac. And just this type of atmosphere where you are on, in this case, you're on the dead moon of Callisto, Jupiter's moon, and you are playing this character by the name of Jacob Lee, I believe his name is. Yeah, and this is a character that is performed by Josh Duhamel, if that's how you pronounce his name, actor from Transformers and some other movies out there. And he is held up at this maximum prison. That is the location that we are at on this moon, Callisto, on the outside of Jupiter, versus, again, comparable to Dead Space 2, where you are on a space station that is located on Saturn's moon, Titan, where, in the comparison here, we have like an alien race or an alien infection coming at us, the claustrophobia of, dark corridors and, very scary horror-like elements, trying to survive left and right with enemies just running at you in sorts of ways. And what I really am enjoying as a Dead Space fan from a game like this is a lot of the extra inspiration of Dead Space, but a lot of the added on top goodies along with it. Dead Space kind of, I wouldn't really say like it suffered from its simple factors as far as Isaac wasn't really allowed to maneuver very much. His combat was a mere punch and a stomp, versus with this kind of a game, like I was saying before, it has like good mix of combos that you can probably intertwine with like your weapons to be able to do finishers and stuff. Being able to use the environments in multiple ways to be able to finish off the infected, in which, Dead Space also had stuff like that. But it seems like Callisto is taking that to another level with how you can manipulate things around you. It's also a great alternate way to be able to save your bullets. I have been seeing some videos of Glenn Schofield talk about how there will be quite a few times where you're going to be tasked to have to use your wits to be able to outsmart the infected, to be able to take down the infected, because you'll have times where you're going to have minimum ammunition and you really need to be able to savor your bullets because you want to use those at the appropriate times. So getting used to your environments and what is around you, being able to manipulate the objects and use weapons that you'll be able to use in order to kind of get an edge on the infected. These things are called biophages. Originated as an ancient virus, as what Schofield was saying, that originated on this moon a long time ago. Scientists have found a way to be able to make that stronger. How can we figure out how to evolve human beings? Again, just like Dead Space with the markers, being able to take humanity to the next level, which were the necromorphs. In this cage, it's the biophages. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about, being able to use the environment at your advantage there. Just blowing body parts left and right. The developers in Schofield talked about how they have implemented a gore system where the developers decided to find different ways to rip apart bodies. And they would rip bodies apart in one way and find additional ways to be able to rip the bodies apart in satisfying fashion. So the fact that you could possibly rip a body apart in one way may not be the same as when you rip a body apart the second time. It might be completely different. But, we've seen things like, people's head being sliced, like, right down the middle. Some weapons that you can use to, like, really just put a dent, like, right in the skull, and you just see some parts of the head just kind of left there. arms just being shot off. Dismemberment is going to be a very important factor in a game like this, because a lot of these types of infected, you know, have unpredictable movements, and you'll want to shoot off the legs to restrict their maneuverability, so you can just come in with a stomp and bam, just slam it on down. Like so. And you see how it's crawling right at you, and just stomp on them and finish them off. Ah, yes, that's nice too. But using the environment, like some of the environmental hazards actually look so cool in this. Let's on over to another trailer that we might be able to break down a little bit. But, you know, in some other cases, like I was talking about with this type of a game, like how they're going to proceed with this game. This game was originally going to be set in PUBG universe, because I think it is some of the same developers from PUBG. And when they started going through the game and writing it more, they realized that it was going to be something bigger than PUBG. So it is and has become part of its own universe, which I think is great, because this can set up its own identity to become, again, something more than what it originally was going to be slated to become. Like I was saying, this definitely has a very big emphasis on storytelling and cinematic cutscenes, and that is great. Shoot the tentacles. All right, we got some Dead Space inspiration in there, of course.
Who did this? And why?
It's like someone's trying to cover up what's happening here. So what happened to the original colony?
Oh.
Abandoned. Along with the rest of Callisto.
Uh-oh.
They didn't have a clue what was going on. Things are changing.
Ooh, we got vegetation.
They're evolving.
They're becoming something more, of course.
These aren't accidents. There's a pattern. Isn't about escape, Jacob. Not anymore.
What's it about?
Answers.
Okay, you really saw Josh Duhamel's character in that one. Ooh.
Soon everything will become clear. The truth of Black Iron.
Well. So I'm gonna assume that is the name. That's the name of the maximum security prison, the Black Iron. So obviously, you know, the truth is just that we know that there is a prison warden here that is keeping these prisoners hostage and knows that they're going to be used as test subjects. During some of the interviews with Glenn, he was talking about how Jacob Lee's character ended up coming onto the planet, or onto the moon, that is, and one of those details was that I guess he was on a ship where someone was trying to steal someone's cargo, and I don't know if it was actually his, but there was an incident and they crash landed on the moon, and hey, the prison warden was like, you know what, more specimens for our project that we have going on here to evolve human beings and have them become more than what they are. So, you know, those are some of the, I guess, circumstances as to why, because I was really actually searching for some information. I know that there was probably some other sources that I probably could have gone to, you know, internet wise, but I kind of stuck with just Wikipedia, and it wasn't really giving you much. The game is actually set in 2023, and it just talks primarily about how, I guess, that there is, you know, we have our main character that gets stranded on this moon, and it doesn't really it doesn't really have very many other details about it. But I just went through it and watched, some of the other videos that I watched to be able to break some of this down with, the information and whatnot. And a lot of other things that I got as far as that is concerned is things like you'll be able to craft. I wouldn't really say like craft weapons, but you'll be able to add attachments to your weapons. So your weapons are going to have probably some like different additional features of how you can take the enemies down, which will be a very nice addition to have some extra customization, to keep things versatile in a game like this. Like I said, it really gives you that feel of an inspirational, spiritual successor to Dead Space, where it is including a lot of Dead Space inspiration, but it's also adding a lot more on top of that. And there's a weapon that is featured in the game that is played throughout some of the gameplay demos, where they call it the grip weapon, and it's a weapon that can be used to manipulate. I think it only can be used to manipulate like the prisoners. Like the prison guards would use this to be able to move them around and put them in cells, basically without their control. So you have this weapon at your disposal where you can use it against the biophages, and you can like push them across the room. You can push them into environmental hazards. You can subdue them. It is going to be a really great weapon to be able to use when you're really trying to kind of figure things out. You want to create some space between you and the biophages, because one of the other really cool features about the biophages is that they will be able to mutate. The virus is always protecting itself. It's always trying to learn. It's always trying to evolve itself. You're going to have moments where you could sever a head, for example, and that biophage is, once its tentacles, it will sprout tentacles, and once the tentacles are exposed, you need to take that down quickly, because if you do not, it will find a way to mutate and become something even more lethal, even more deadly. So you need to be able to think on your feet and be able to make the most rational choices possible in order to survive. Another interesting feature about the game is that it's not actually going to feature I guess you can call it like a GPS style type thing that Dead Space had, where you would click the analog stick and it will give you an actual LED path of where you're supposed to go as far as the mission is concerned. It's been said that you will have to rely on your wits to be able to navigate this prison. There probably will be some elements of how you're going to be able to get around and do things in that regard, but I think for the most part they're going to want you to really try to figure those things out yourself. And the game itself is going to be a type of linear. It's going to be a linear experience for the most part, but the ship is not going to be the prison is not going to be without its areas of exploration. There is something what they call the beta path, and it is going to be able to make room for exploration and discovery for you to find your way around the ship. There will be things like audio logs to be able to find out more lore about the events that have happened on the prison before the outbreak, before the release of the biophages, along with the cinematic storytelling and that you'll have on top of that will give some extra emphasis, to the story's full telling. Other than that, I think that is just about all that I have on Callisto Protocol. I think that this, so far, as far as I'm concerned, we talked about, dismemberment is going to be obviously a huge focus. I think what I'm really excited for this combat. I'm excited to see a cinematic telling of a story like this, because I feel already from what I can see, it feels like it's going to be very immersive, and it's really going to help you connect with this character. Dead Space really had an element of connection once you got to the second game. It seems even like the remake, they're going to give Isaac more of a personality. We'll see how that goes. He has quite a bit of dialogue in the remake versus what he had in Dead Space 1. And what I'm seeing with Callisto is they really want to focus on you having more of a connection with the character that you're playing as. I think that this has been a great breakdown of Callisto. I hope that you guys enjoyed yourselves. I sure enjoyed myself by watching the trailers and catching up on all this info, because I was originally going to stay in the dark with this game until just a couple days ago. I was starting to think that I really wanted to start seeing some trailers of this, because I had not seen anything since the Red Band trailer from last year. So I'm really glad that I dived into this. And if you guys would like to see any more Callisto type coverage before the game releases December 2nd, just let me know in the comments below, or you can let me know exactly what you're anticipating with this game's release. What are you most excited for? Are you ready to jump back in a Dead Space like environment and take on zombies and be horrified and be glorified with all the gore and dismemberment and the cinematic storytelling? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you want to stay connected to the channel, please feel free to do so, because I would love to start doing more videos like this where I really take some time to break down these videos, especially with games that I'm going to be interested in playing, and give you my full take, give you my analysis as far as this being a game that feels really close to home for me when it comes to survival horror, because I love Dead Space and I just love everything that I'm seeing about this game so far. So let me know about that, guys, and anything else that you would like to talk about down there, and I will catch you when the next video is ready to go, and when Callisto is ready to launch on December 2nd. I will see you all in space, ready to dismember enemies with good taste. Did that even make any sense? I don't know. Good taste as in we're gonna have good taste in how we're gonna dismember these guys. So until next time.